African-centered organization designed to move black people forward towards African liberation and African sovereignty. My philosophical thought process and reasoning is urban philosophy. This is the base that I speak from, and this is the angle that I come from as I communicate to you today. The first thing I would like to say is I'm going to give thanks out to the UNIA, the RC 2020, for hosting this beautiful event. Let's give them a round of applause. This is wonderful, beautiful. And a special thanks go out to Baba Senghor, because Baba Senghor had been supporting me and PLM for over 15 years. Consistently supporting, consistently. That's something to be honored about. I want to give him a round of applause for that. Because too often we don't roll with people that long. Too often we're easily set off by something and we'll throw you away. And y'all know what I mean. Yeah. That's a part of the trauma that we have endured. But for 15 years he has successfully supported me, and likewise I have reciprocated. Because one of the most important principles that we African people have given to the world is reciprocity. Yeah. We've given it to the world. So as I proceed to talk, I do not speak from a European reference at all. If I say something that's not understood, please ask me what I mean. Don't assume that I'm speaking from their angle, because I don't. I do not operate within their container at all. Because everything is in a context. And we have to understand it. Everything functions within a context. Context gives things meaning. One of the problems that we have suffered as a people is that we have yet to figure out how to get out of their context. And because we function and think too much within their context, it has created the problems in our lives. A lot of the confusion, the failing of the families because of we're in their context of what family should be. The failing of the relationships is because we're in their context of what a relationship should be. The miseducation that's perpetuated amongst our children is because we understand education within their context. So today, as I talk, I do not operate within their container at all. Understand that. The brother Jabari said something today that's very important. I thought he was thinking of my book. He said something. He said one of his teachers told him that the mind is not in the brain. That's what you said, right? That is true. I oftentimes teach that. The mind is not in the brain. The mind is throughout the entire body. Existence as we know it is us. Once again, it's us. See, for us to be spirit is to be divine, and we are spirit, and spirit is black. When you close your eyes, you don't see nothing but black. When you think about black, nothing precedes it. Nothing precedes it. Anything that exists because of black. Erase black, everything else is gone. All right. That is the one power they don't want you to know. You have to reclaim it. Don't let them tell you what black is. Black is not the color. Black is the essence that gives birth to color. Black precedes color. All right. Scientifically, cosmically, it precedes color. So when you lay down at night, when you pray, when you do all of that, you need to know you're praying to you. You need to know that you gave birth to you. There's nothing outside of you. There's nothing that stands or exists outside of blackness. Blackness is the initial, the beginning, the absolute principle that makes existence possible. All right. And when we understand it as a people, we cannot be contained. And we have had many black men and women who came before us attempting to teach us that. And each and every one came under attack. That's okay, right? I'm not going to stay there. That's okay. I have no problem with that, right? Because struggle is necessary for growth and development. Resistance is necessary for growth and development. So we need a Yoruba running around. We just need to know that we are superior. Get quiet when you hear that. You think I'm saying reverse racism. You see that? I like the side of talk. You know, we get quiet when we hear it. Superior, oh man, I was with him until he done lost me just now. But you are superior. And I don't even say superior in the context, because once again, I'm not in their context. So I'm talking to you in your container. So I'm talking to you, actors and everybody else. I just said that Blackness sees everything else. I'm not talking about them. I'm not even saying superior in comparison to no one, because no one is comparable to us. So get them out your mind.
All right.
And understand that you stood here on the planet first, and by definition, because you came first, you're superior.
Yes, sir.
You're not the prototype. You originated the prototype. Get them out your mind, because I'm not in their container. I'm not in their context. And that's what they don't want you to know. They want you to stay in their context because they're in how they control you. I don't move in their context. And I'm trying to bring us there. Are y'all with me?
Yes,
I brought y'all back because I know I shook up at first when I said superior. Y'all with me now?
Still with you.
You with me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Blackness divine. Make no mistake about that. Make no mistake about that. Nothing sees it. Nothing comes after it. What do you think got us through chattel slavery? Right? Because there is no condition on the planet Earth that no other people have endured. What do you think got us through, right? With all the scars that we came out of it with, look at all the stuff that we had produced of. What do you think got us through it? Right? Look at that time period that we was going through it.
Yeah.
The rapes, the lynchings,
Yeah.
the murders,
Yeah.
the beatings, taking of the limbs, putting iron cages on your head, cutting your tongue out, taking a toe from you.
Yes.
The forced entry into the human being body for all those years. What do you think pulled us through all of that? Blackness, black magic, black tricity, blackness, the black spirit is what they have always underestimated, because you cannot stomp the black spirit out.
All right.
You can't. And people who are spiritless can never comprehend the power of spirit. That's who we are. That's what got us through. That's why we're here today, because of that spirit. So we call the names of a Marcus Garvey. You call the name of someone who understood the power of spirit and manifested that power.
That's right.
When you call a Malcolm X, you're talking about somebody who was forged in fire and became a symbol. When you say Harriet Tubman, what do you think compelled her to move off the Eastern Shore in Maryland and move up in a time period that she did, and she kept on moving?
Yes, sir.
You're talking about a black spirit,
Yes, sir.
a Gabriel Prosser, a black spirit, a Denmark Bessie, a black spirit. What do you think caused Sojourner Truth when she became free to say, I'm going to find my children and start walking around this land? A black spirit. A brother named David Butters in New York, who said every time white people came into New York with black enslaved people, that he was going to push up on them. We talk about a brother in the 1800s who understood the community self-defense before Black Panther Party. We talk the black spirit. David Butters would go to white people's doors and knock on the doors and say, you know, you had that person in your house with you longer than 9 months, because New York had passed the law. They can, from the South, they would bring people in with them, because these people in the South, they had homes in New York. Right? So it makes you think that the North and the South was against each other, but the South vacated in New York. They took their vacations there. And David Butters was on the scene. He would study the law and he knew the law. He would watch the house. This is how organized it was. The black spirit, that business committee. And he knew when a black person was in a European home past 9 months. And he went to the door with his crew, knocked on the door, and let them know, you're free. And he dared that European to say something about it. The black spirit. And we have let these people convince us that we're less than beings. We have let these people convince us that we are uneducated. We have let these people convince us that we are unintelligent. We have let these people tell us that we can't communicate. So we start correcting each other. Well, you know that's not proper English. What the hell would they say? Right? The best language any people on earth can use is the language to get the message across to the other person that they're communicating to. Simple. That's the purpose of communication, to convey a clear thought or a clear idea. But we let these people convince us of things because we have lost the knowledge of the black spirit. But I'm a living example of the black spirit. You know why? Because in 1984, I was in juvenile court in Baltimore City, and I had a white judge named Master Cochelle. That's what they called them back then, them juvenile judges. She was called a master. And she looked at me and she said, young man, it just appears that you're incapable of learning because you just keep getting in trouble. And she had these people to send me to John Hopkins Hospital, and they stuck my head in an MRI that said something was wrong with me. Wow. That's what happened to me. But I'm the same one. I'm the same one that found himself in prison years later during time, serving 20 years, that met young men, misguided, and raised them up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's this brother here, he was 15 when I met him in prison.
Okay.
But over there, all the men you see walk with me, I raised them up in prison. In the belly of the beast. But people say they can't be transformed. I've been over prison for 21 years. Wrote 7 books, built organizations, opened a restaurant, worked with community children, got a weekend school, been married successfully for the entire term. Right? You know why? Because I found the black spirit. So let me stop there. That's enough about me. I want to talk about this race convention. Because oftentimes we don't always know when we're in the midst of something powerful. We miss opportunities, right? Because we think too much in their container. So we can't see the power of black people when black people around us. Because their container, their context tell us to distrust each other. It tells us to be suspicious. That's their context. I don't move in their context. You know why? When you know the black spirit, you know when you're in the presence of another black spirit. So I don't have to be suspicious of you. You understand? Get out their context. So I have to let you know who I am so you can understand the importance of this Race First Convention. So in 2020, a little bit of history real quick. 2020, looking through social media, I noticed a lot of different black groups were critiquing Black Lives Matter. Now I don't defend Black Lives Matter, I'm making my point. So I'm sitting back looking at them critique. And my mindset have always been about, if I observe an issue or problem, go to a solution. That's just how I move. And so I said, dang, Black Lives Matter. The way that Black Lives Matter, and regardless of the money that they receive, but the way they was able to move and do what they did, because realistically, if we've been honest, it was a void. Yeah. See, it was a void there. Right? See, those of us who say we Pan-Africanists, African-centered, Garveyites, you name us, right? We retreated in a sense. It allowed that void to exist. And they moved into the void, and they did what they did. So I said, you know what, man? I'm not going to do no critiquing online, because I don't do that, because I didn't come up that way. I said, you know what? So I'm going to organize a Race First rally. Right? I'm doing Race First rally. So the first Race First rally was in August 2020. And so then what happened was my intention was just to do that one rally. But then people reached out to me, they was like, man, this is on point, let's keep it going. I didn't have no intention on keeping it going. So I said, I need to think about that. Because I always try to communicate with the ancestors, try to figure out am I moving in the energy? And so what I received from the ancestors is that if folk are serious, then tell them to organize a Race First rally in their cities, and we'll coordinate them on the same day so we can demonstrate symbolic unity. So that's what I came back to everybody with. I said, y'all want to do it, let's do it in your city. And let's go the following year in 2021, we'll do all these Race First rallies the same day at the same time. All right. And so there's unity, right? Yeah. So 2021 came around, we had 4 Race First rallies. I think it was a time period, don't quote me because it's low, I'm 54 years old, so. It was Baltimore, it was Philly, it's Arkansas, and I think Louisiana. That's what it was, all right? All right. That's what the next, so then we did that one, then the year after that, other cities wanted to get on board. So that first 4 years, we was doing the rallies, but I always let everybody know that the rallies was just a strategy to get to the convention. If you go back and listen to any of my videos, you will hear me saying that. The rally was the way to get this energy out there, to get this knowledge and get this awareness out there, to get to the convention, because what I recognized and what I knew is that we needed a convention, some type of umbrella where we can bring all these different types of groups together,
all right.
and we can do some work together and design something with everybody's hands on it that can help us understand how we're going to address these issues and move forward in doing this work as some type of collaborative, organized body. Because right now, you know, we're taking a lot of beatings, if we're going to be real, right? So, now fast forward. The convention is happening this September in Baltimore City, September 26th, 27th, 28th. Now keep in mind, if you study in history, I'm going to go back real quick. 1830, in September 1830, the first colored convention convened in Philly at the AME Church. Right? Now the idea that time period to have a convention comes from a guy out of Baltimore, Hezekiah Price. He put the call out to the abolitionists in New York. And some kind of way, you know, Richard Allen got involved, and they said, hey, we can do it here, so he came to Philly. Okay. So from 1830 all the way up through 1895, black people in the USA, we organized these conventions. We organized these conventions. One of the ones that was real prominent is 1854. Because in 1854, that convention said immigration. And so you had Garnett, you had Delaney, they get all of them coming together trying to figure out what we're going to do. Are we going to go to Central America? Is it Canada? And then Delaney, since he had already been over to Africa and he did that chart and that land, that survey, his push like Africa. All right? And then he said it, because you back and read it, you can go pull all this stuff up. He said Africa for the Africans. Martin Delaney. 1854. That starts it, and it comes all the way down. And then you get the young preacher in the later parts of the 1800s. You get Henry McNeil Turner. Yes. See, right? History here. Turner's approach, his approach was most definitely immigration, but his emphasis was unapologetically black. His philosophy was race patriotism. Okay. McNeil Turner in the 1800s, race patriotism. Right? Why am I saying all this? Right? So when we get to Garvey with that 1920 convention, it's in alignment. See, it's in alignment. The conventions is what we've done. And if we look at when these conventions occurred, these conventions occurred always during a time period when you can call it the nadir, when we was like at a low point, right? We organized these conventions, come together, we lay things out, and we move out. We make something happen. And every one of the conventions elevated blackness. In the 1854 convention, they also talk about putting an N on Negro. Now, I know we don't use the term no more, I'm just trying to help to understand. They say capitalize the Negro. God, you can go read it there, it's in the paper. It's in his, right? He said capitalize the N on the Negro. Right? You know what I'm saying? So, we must be found for us. So, me looking at all of that, because I'm coming through this urban philosophical lens, and through urban philosophy, we study our history very incessantly, because Garvey said that. If you back and read the philosophies and opinions, he said one should study history incessantly. And I read that in 1993, it stuck in my head. So read history incessantly. So I've been reading history since 1992. Incessantly, because Garvey said that, right? Incessantly means what, you know? Perpetually, constantly, right? You don't give up. Because history does this, among many other things, right? This is an urban philosophical breakdown. History informs the past, right? It clarifies the present, and it illuminates the future. When you understand it, you can do that. It informs the past, because then you know how to go in the past and get what you need to clarify now. And when you clarify now, you can see going forward. you know how to move going forward, right? And so because I'm a student in that capacity, we need a convention. We need a convention. What is this convention is designed to achieve? We need a document, because there's a lot of groups out here that's doing great work. We're in silos, we don't know each other, and because of that, it hinders the work, right? So PLM, we do good work, but yet, organizationally and collectively, it's still hindered because it's just us. And granted, at the end of the day, everybody gotta still do what they do, but we have to think on a larger scale. No, I'm not trying to organize one big organization, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to tell people that you have to throw away your organizational sovereignty, your organizational allegiance. No, you keep all of that. Keep all of that. What I'm saying is that how do we govern what we all say we're a part of? We all say we're trying to get black liberation. So how do we govern that? And make that clear and make it structured in such a way that no matter where we at, the work that we do is all in alignment. So that way it maximizes what everybody is doing. We maximize that push because we got this unique window for at least another 7 years, because the red boy, the orange boy, the individual boy, most definitely he gonna get 8, right? Because he's setting that up. So we have this unique window, and we shouldn't feel bad about this boy, because that's the problem. See, we have allowed the illusion of security to put us to sleep. That's the problem. That's the reason why we shooken up by the orange boy. But if you read and study their history, you know the orange boy is consistent in their history. He's not an anomaly in their history. He is the norm. He's the norm in their history. But because we have allowed the illusion of this security in this fake, false, backwards land, put us to sleep. So when this European orange boy popped up and started doing things that they have done consistently, historically, we all shook it up.
All right.
What happens is this. Black people have been made apolitical. We have been made apolitical. And by political, I'm not even necessarily referring to electoral politics. Once again, I'm not in their context.
All right.
You with me? Right? I'm telling you what I mean, right? We've been apolitical in the sense that we are not nationalistic. The thinking is not nationalistic. And every group of people that's standing is nationalistic. Hodgepodge of a land, we erroneously believe we all the same. So we struggle with the thing that makes us a distinction in this land.
Black.
And because we struggle with that, it has laid us vulnerable to the perpetual exploitation. We have to find our way back to our racial individuality. They spoke about this at the first Pan-Afrikan conference in 1900. There was a paper that was presented. Anna Hunt Jones. She knew then that if we didn't preserve and hold on to what made us unique and distinct, we was going to be in trouble. And we are there today. But our ancestors are with us. We have a beautiful window, black man and black woman. A beautiful opportunity, black man and black woman. Everything that any of us have read in history, you are now standing within it. You are living in that history that you read about. It's not 100 years away from you no more. It's right here. You're in it. And this is your opportunity to engrave your portion of helping us within history. This is your time. You know, this is your time. All those conversations that we've had about, man, I was back then, I'd have did this, that, no. This is your time. You know? Because we haven't had those little conversations. All of us, you know, saying, I ain't my ancestors, all of those backwards church people running around with. This is your time to prove you ain't your ancestors then. because you are being confronted with the same condition. This is your time.
Right.
So what are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do? That's what this is about. So the National Race First Convention, September the 26th through the 28th, Baltimore City. You need to be there. You need to be there. You know, those conventions that they was having in the 1800s, they was bringing out 2,000 and 3,000 people. Now I'm not bringing forth those numbers because that's what I'm expecting. This is the point that I'm trying to make. Those people were coming from all over the USA. They didn't have cell phones and social media. Right. They was communicating by newspapers. And they had newspapers carriers. People was carrying these newspapers across the land. That's how they communicated. And they knew convention was happening. And then they started the march to get there, to be a part of it. That's how they was able to make history and transform things. This is your opportunity. This is your time. This is our time. I am going to be there in full-fledged. And I'm going to give 100% while I'm there. And I don't expect anything to all go my way. That's why we call it the convention. Because everybody that's there can partake. We want to craft whatever's going to get crafted together. But we need clear-minded, politically astute, African-centered thinking people. Not people who just want to blurt things out and then use a European argument and say, well, that's just my opinion. Everybody got an opinion. That is another lie. That is another lie. Everyone do not have an opinion. I can't go walk in no day going NASA and just say, well, you know we can't go in space. And they say, why you say that? That's just my opinion. You keep parroting their lies within their context. No, your opinion must be based in semblance of fact. You just can't blurt anything out. But you know, man, you know the snow can come sideways today. Why you say that? That's just my opinion, man. I got no opinion. I can't have my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Get out there, context. They meddling our brains enough. Got us crazy around here, saying crazy things, and we stand on it. We try to argue craziness. This is just a dose of urban philosophy. Y'all get me? Y'all learning some things today. Trust me. I see it in your eyes. You're learning some things today. Some things that ain't shaking up. You're thinking about some things. You won't forget me. You may not remember my name, but you won't forget me. That's my job.
All right.
That's my job, to make sure you don't forget me. To make sure I made you think some kind of way. To make sure I deposited something different in you. To make sure I help you rethink something, to share something on you. Because you need to be at that convention. Even if you're just there to say, you know what, I just want to make sure this convention rolls out the right way. I don't necessarily want to offer no insights. I'm going to just be here and see who's going to do what. Bible said, go going to be there. You know? And other members of, UNIA, RC 2020. Like you said earlier, we got Mama Marumba Ali's coming up. She's highly invested. Shakawai is coming up from London. Folk coming. We got the appeal group out of Washington, D.C. that's coming. We got the RBG team. They're coming. Like, folk are coming. We got Bobby M. Zoo and Key, you know what I'm saying? The Black Awakening, Black Rising. Then you got the Black Awakening. Like, people are coming to be a part of this. So, lastly, if you don't have one of these, this is a small brochure of my organization, PLM. You can grab it from the table over there.
All right.
If you haven't purchased Urban Philosophy, you need to purchase it. Most definitely, if you haven't purchased Scientific Pan-Africanism, you need to purchase it. These are just 2 of the 7 publications that I have, but I wanted to bring these 2 because these 2 are very, very instructive. Last point that I'm out of here. Many individuals are on Facebook and places like that saying things like, Pan-Africanism is dead. And we say things, once again, because when we don't have proper knowledge, we talk out of ignorance. And we try to justify ignorance. So Pan-Africanism will forever live by those who know what Pan-Africanism is. Right? There's many ways in which people attempt to define it. So I'm not going to stand up here today and try to define it. If you want to know what I think about it, the book explains it. Because it is one of those ideologies that requires thought. Right? It requires you to investigate it, to understand it. One thing I do in here that's very important is I list 10 individuals who existed, who predate the emergence of the term Pan-Africanism. Because we get the term in 1900 as a political term, right? It get solidified for us at that Pan-African conference. But we have individuals that predate that term by at least 100 years. We can go all the way back to Paul Cuffey, right? So in here, what I do in a very chronological way is do that because the book is not a history of Pan-Africanism. The book is a clarification and an elaboration. But I do mention these 10 individuals and explain how their thought process, their ideology, lends to the development and the ultimate emergence of the concept itself. Right? So the book does that in a very good way. And then I get inside the book, I go through 10 women that exemplify Pan-African behavior. So having said that, I'm going to leave you. I hope I've said something that you can take with you, you can learn from, you can go on. That may want you to continue to build with me if possible. But if nothing else, notice right here. Each and every one of you who chose to come here today, you chose to be a part of the solution. Don't let it stop today. Don't come here because you want to use this event as dope, as heroin, as crack, as alcohol. Because we do that. That's how insane we became. These events become where we get high at, where we come to feel good at. And the moment we leave the event is where we leave it at. Right? Hopefully that's not any of you. Because you here, so you chose to be a part of the solution. Be a part of the solution. Sure. 48 Race First Hotel. I love my black family.
BLM is the flag that we hold. Fatiu, liberator, liberator, raider. Fatiu, liberator, liberator, raider.